Cad Bane was the most prominent bounty hunter during the Clone Wars, with him frequently going toe-to-toe with full-fledged Jedi Masters throughout the conflict. His talents were so well regarded that he was even personally hired by Darth Sidious. Born on the planet Ziro, Bane started his career as a bounty hunter at an early age, and was briefly mentored by Jango Fett prior to the outbreak of the Clone Wars. During his early exploits, Bane was hired alongside other hunters to aid Darth Maul in secretly acquiring a Jedi Padawan who was being sold at an auction by a criminal syndicate, as the Sith Lord wished to slay a Jedi for the first time behind his master's back. Following a Mugen gang's purchase of the Padawan, Bane, Maul, and the other hunters ambushed them within their own starship and got hold of the Jedi learner. However, before they could escape, their ship crashed near a moon, with the host of the auction ordering all the other criminals to hunt them down for sport after realizing their theft. Cad Bane and the other hunters were ordered by Maul to hold off the incoming goons and to find a new ship, with him going on to privately duel the Jedi Padawan they had acquired in order to feed his bloodlust. As dozens of thugs came bearing down upon them, Cad Bane and his allies were able to fight them off with ease, picking each group off like ants, and finally acquiring a new ship for them to get off the moon. During this event, Bane and the other hunters considered killing Maul, but thought against it after seeing him in action, and not fully understanding how he was able to fight in such an unnatural fashion. Also, their greed for money outweighed any fears of being betrayed by such a mysterious employer. Maul also had thoughts of taking out Bane and the other bounty hunters following his victory over the Jedi Padawan, but ultimately decided against it due to their commitment of staying with him till the very end of the job, rewarding their bravery with a hefty payment and likely passing on their exploits to his Sith Master Darth Sidious. Cad Bane's notoriety in the galaxy truly picked up during the start of the Clone Wars, when he was personally hired by Darth Sidious to steal a holocron from the Jedi Temple, a task that would be deemed impossible for most other bounty hunters, yet the Ziro bounty hunter took the job and was able to successfully execute the heist. Following his escape off Coruscant with the holocron, he was hunted by a Jedi task force led by Anakin Skywalker. During this time, Bane, with the aid of a small separatist fleet, was able to capture Jedi Master Bola Rapal. He tortured the Rodian in an attempt to force him to open the holocron with a Kyber memory crystal, yet failed to do so by accidentally killing him during the interrogation. Luckily for Bane, he was able to successfully unlock the holocron shortly afterwards, when he threatened to kill Skywalker's Padawan Ahsoka Tano, with the Jedi Knight reluctantly unlocking it for him. Bane was able to escape capture by the Jedi once more by disguising himself as a clone trooper before stealing a ship from a Republic cruiser and fleeing to hyperspace. His next task involved him kidnapping Force-sensitive children for Darth Sidious by using the unlocked holocron as a guide. He was able to successfully capture 2 before being apprehended by Anakin and Ahsoka. During his imprisonment by the Jedi, attempts were made to mind trick him to reveal the location of the children. However, he was able to resist even the combined efforts of 3 Jedi using the power on him, claiming to submit if they ceased any more attempts on him. However, this was yet another act of deception on his part, with him leading both Obi-Wan and Mace Windu into a trap that only contained the stolen holocron and no children. During the activation of his traps on the unsuspecting Jedi, he was able to make his escape once more. Later, Cad Bane was hired by Jabba the Hutt to free a fellow member of the Hutt clan named Ziro, who was in the custody of the Galactic Republic. Bane assembled a crew of bounty hunters, and together they took a portion of the Senate building hostage, forcing Supreme Chancellor Palpatine to accept his demands of freeing Ziro in exchange for the lives of the senators that were at his mercy. After completing his job in rescuing Ziro the Hutt, Bane was once again hired by Jabba, but this time to eliminate Ziro, after he had escaped imprisonment on Nal Hutta. During this mission, he was intercepted by both Obi-Wan and Quinlan Vos, who were also searching for Ziro to recapture him for the Republic. Once it was discovered that Ziro had been betrayed and murdered by his lover, a fight instigated between Bane and the 2 Jedi Masters. Despite going up against 2 of the finest Jedi of the Order, Bane was able to not only hold his own, but also was able to electrocute Obi-Wan to the ground with his gauntlets during their brief close-quarters scuffle, with him eventually escaping once more from the Jedi. At some point later in the Clone Wars, Cad Bane allowed himself to get captured by the Republic, and was imprisoned at a complex on Coruscant. This was all done for a job given to him by Count Dooku, to free a man named Moralo Evol from custody. During his escape, Bane and Evol were both accompanied by a disguised Obi-Wan, who had taken the identity of another bounty hunter named Reiko Hardeen, and was tasked in uncovering a plot against the Supreme Chancellor. The three later got off-planet and eventually met up with Count Dooku on Sereno, who had organized a bounty hunter tournament for a special mission involving kidnapping the Chancellor. Cad Bane, along with the still disguised Obi-Wan, succeeded in passing Dooku's tests, with Bane being made leader of the assembled bounty hunter crew tasked in their mission of capturing Palpatine. The mission took place on Naboo, where the Supreme Chancellor was hosting a celebration on the planet. Although Cad Bane was able to temporarily kidnap Palpatine during the planned ambush, he was foiled by Obi-Wan and later captured by the Republic in the end. Not long after, Bane once again was able to escape imprisonment, with him later selling the layouts of the Jedi Temple to a separatist captain who was planning to bomb the temple. Near the very end of the Clone Wars, Cad Bane began to mentor Boba Fett as a means of repaying his father Jango for doing the same long ago. Later, the two bounty hunters, as seen in an unfinished episode of the Clone Wars, had a standoff, which ended in both shooting each other in the head, with Bane's blaster shot resulting in the famous dent within Boba's helmet. Despite his severe injuries to his skull, Bane was able to recover and continued bounty hunting during the early years of the Galactic Empire's reign. One of his first jobs was kidnapping a special clone named Omega. Bane was able to successfully capture her from Clone Force 99 on the planet Bracca, but she was later taken from him by another bounty hunter named Fennec Shand. Although he failed this job, Bane continued his career of bounty hunting for many more years to come, and likely primarily took on jobs within Hutt space, having become a favorite with Jabba the Hutt and his associates.